Come on up, sir.
Good evening. My name is Chad Bishop. I live at 7405 South Valencia Drive here in Sioux Falls. I'll agree with Mr. Haugen earlier. The city is well run. Thank you for that. The purpose of my statements is to present an opportunity to lead the state and perhaps the nation on a contentious issue. I was glad to see the November 30th Argus Leader article informing us the city reversed its vaccine mandate policy for its healthcare professionals. I was saddened to see that it took a federal court stepping in instead of local leadership making the decision. I would respectfully request that you make this policy change permanent and in addition reimburse all city employees, whether vaccinated or not, should they choose to take a SARS-CoV-2 antibody or adaptive T-cell response assay. Should the federal executive continue to overstep its constitutional bounds, I would encourage you to support, if not join, Attorney General's relevant suits to fight for the rights of your employees and other state residents. The Argus Leader reported on October 17th that 21 months worth of state epidemiological data shows empirically that less than 1% have been reinfected. We no longer have to depend upon the recommendations of a federal regulatory authority that seems to have been wholly captured by the pharmaceutical industry. We have enough empirical data generated and maintained by the state to ascertain our own risk, and if we showed initiative, we could have the most robust serological data set in the country, which could further serve to dissolve the artificial political tension generated around the narrative of vaccinated versus the unvaccinated, instead of the immune and the unimmune. As of today, there have been 147,000 COVID-19 cases documented by the South Dakota Department of Health. Per my previous statements to this body in August, that likely represents only a fraction of the total COVID-19 recovered per the CDC's own epidemiological models. What if we were to discover that 70% of the population had durable natural immunity in addition to the vaccinated? What if we were to discover that 75% of the voluntarily vaccinated also had infection-induced N-type antibodies? What would that do to the Pfizer CEO's latest recommendation of a fourth dose of his product? What if we were to discover that upwards of 85% of the children 5 to 11 had durable natural immunity? How would that affect the parents' decisions in our community? The question I asked you both in August and now again is why aren't we doing the serology at scale, and why don't we know the answer to these questions, or to what number of South Dakotans are COVID-19 recovered? Who benefits from the absence of this information? Classical liberals used to ask and take an interest in such questions as cui bono, or they would look to follow the money. There's now over $974 million for COVID-19 relief in the state treasury in an attempt to use science to resolve these artificially divisive political issues, rebuild trust with a skeptical public, and bring clarity to policymakers at all levels within the state, including this body. I'm asking for you to call upon state legislators and the governor to support legislation supporting funding and following health campaign proposals summarized for time here. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else for public input tonight?